Hello again. Sorry, it seems like my camera is still being kind of slow. So if it's kind of like, if it seems like this is slow and like just off, I apologize. I don't know how to fix it though, so I might have my brother take a look at it and see if he can figure out what's going on when I go home for the weekend. But at this point, I don't know what it is. So I apologize. Okay, this is probably going to be, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be long, but it's going to be kind of like a personal rant or vent, and it's not about what my channel is usually about. I don't remember if I've mentioned this before, but I became a vegetarian when I was in 7th grade. I was 12 or 13, probably 12 because I was 12 for the vast majority of 7th grade. And I was a vegetarian until I think it was like a month ago already, or about a month ago. And I decided, because I've been going back and forth in my mind trying to decide if I wanted to become a vegan or not. And my sister, I told her this, she became a vegetarian, I think it was either the last summer or the summer before that, and she's like, no, don't leave me! And I'm like, I'm not leaving you, I'm not going anywhere. And like I told her, I'm not expecting her to become a vegan. It was her decision to become a vegetarian, and I didn't know that she was seriously contemplating it until after she had already decided to talk to my mom, and my mom had said that that was alright with her. So anyway, I decided to become a vegan, and I knew that going into it, it was going to be challenging finding foods that I could eat, and that a good chunk of the foods that I had been eating and that I was able to eat would be off the table, would be out of bounds. And I knew that a good chunk, or not necessarily a good chunk, but maybe a lot, or not necessarily a majority, but some of the foods that I would want, that would sound interesting, or that I've had before and I've liked and that I could still eat, would be expensive. Because vegan food, like, if it's, I'm not talking about necessarily like produce. I'm talking about like vegan meals, tofu, that kind of stuff tends to be more expensive than products that have meat, dairy, all that kind of stuff that I don't eat. So it's kind of frustrating going shopping. It was frustrating going grocery shopping as a vegetarian and looking at aisle after aisle and item after item of things that I couldn't eat, and the things that I could and that I liked sometimes were more expensive, and therefore I either couldn't get or could get, like, if it was on sale, or like every once in a while I could get. And where was I going with that? Sorry, too much sun has fried my brain a little. But becoming a vegan, it's kind of like that much more frustrating. And like even before going to the grocery store, like there are certain items that if you just look at the name of it and the front of it, it will seem like maybe it's vegetarian. You turn it around, there's chicken stock, there's egg, there's, not that some vegetarians don't eat that stuff, but the kind of vegetarian I was, especially towards the end, I just consumed like dairy products. Though I haven't actually had a glass of cow's milk in I don't even know how long. My mom a while ago decided, I'm not sure exactly why she decided, I think she might have gotten it and gotten something to try, and my sister liked it, so she kept buying soy milk, or silk, which is soy milk, a brand of soy milk. So I've been drinking that for a while, and I like how it tastes, and so even that's kind of expensive, but I was consuming products that had milk in it, and so I hate looking at something and thinking that maybe I could eat it, and then you turn around, look at the ingredients, and it's like, seriously? Does it really, really, really have to have that in there? Like, for the longest time, Skittles, I don't know if they always did, but I know for the longest time, they had gelatin in them, and they've actually now, I'm not sure what exactly the reason is for it, but they've decided to not have gelatin in them. For those of you who don't know, gelatin is pretty much like crushed up animal bones, horse hooves, however you say that word, I can't speak right now, like that kind of stuff. So I wasn't able to eat them, and so now I can have Skittles, yay, but it's not like real food, it's not healthy food to have all the time. Like, in moderation it's alright, but yeah, I don't know, I'm just rambling, I'm not even venting, I'm just like rambling. And I hate also having to deal with people's ignorance and their rudeness. Like, I have, like, especially when I had just decided to become a vegetarian, I got a lot of backlash from people, especially my family. They were like, well, why are you doing that, yada yada yada, and like, I actually had someone say to me in my family, that I was just doing it because it was the opposite of what was expected of me, and I was just trying to be rebellious or difficult, or I can't remember exactly what the word was or how it was phrased, but I'm just like, first off, you don't know me. Second off, why the hell are you trying to say that that's what it is? Because honestly, it's been so long that I cannot, for the life of me, remember exactly what caused me to become a vegetarian. I can't remember, like, if I read something or saw something that made me decide that animals shouldn't be eaten. They shouldn't be killed for human consumption, for humans to wear, or anything like that. It might have been that. It probably was. But I can't remember. I do know that it was for moral reasons that I decided to become a vegetarian. And so having to deal with people's ignorance is kind of frustrating, especially because there have been times when I've kind of, not necessarily like tried to persuade people to become a vegetarian, but maybe a little. But I don't put people down for eating meat. I don't personally believe in it, in doing so, but I think it's everyone's own personal decision, and if it was forced on you, then it wouldn't mean as much. It has to be something that you come to on your own terms and for your reasons, for the right reasons, whatever they may be, exactly. But having to deal with people who are trying to force meat on me, or like I had in high school, in my freshman year of high school, there were a few people that I would sit with at lunch when I was still going down to lunch. And this one guy who was also a Christian, and his dad was a pastor or something like that, he would shove meat in my face and like say, oh, don't you want this, about meat products. And I'm just like, especially looking back, it's like, why? Like, were you that immature or something? Like, I didn't make fun of him or put him down for his moral beliefs in terms of eating meat and believing in Christianity, even though I don't believe in those, because it's your own personal opinion and you're entitled to your own personal opinion. I don't like the fact that I at least try to be respectful of other people and their beliefs, but as a vegetarian, I haven't necessarily experienced this as a vegan so far, but I've experienced people who are rude to me, but yeah, I'm polite to them about it, and it's just like, it's annoying. And like, I remember this one time at Sam's Club, I think it might have been over, it was either spring break or winter break this year. I was walking around with my family, and there was this guy offering samples, because they usually do that. They have samples around the store of food stuff that they're trying to sell you. And I honestly can't remember what it was. There's something that was meat, and I was like, no, I'm a vegetarian. Like, I don't want it. It might have been fish or something. And he's like, oh, well, like, I'm not gonna judge you or whatever, or like, I forgive you, or they forgive you, or something like that. And I'm like, who's forgiving me for what? Like, why do I need to be forgiven for my beliefs? It's just kind of frustrating. I don't know. This has turned into an 11-minute rant. Obviously, I need to talk to people more, because this is the third video I've made today, and they've all been kind of lengthy without intending to. Yeah. Ugh. One of the things that is kind of annoying about becoming a vegan, and this is probably at least partially because I really loved chocolate. I still love chocolate, but I have yet to been able, sorry, tongue-tied. I have yet been able to find any vegan chocolate. I mean, I've heard that it exists, but I just haven't been able to find any or get any. I'm craving chocolate, like, really. I need chocolate. Chocolate helps to make me feel better, even though it could, or sometimes tends to make me feel like a fat ass. But it's not like I have chocolate constantly, or had chocolate constantly. So, yeah. I just, hopefully I can find vegan chocolate sometime soon. Yeah. I don't know. Is anyone else a vegetarian or vegan who's following me? Just out of curiosity. There's nothing wrong if you aren't. Like, I'm not going to be like, you're a bad person. Like, how are you going to do this? Why are you doing this to animals? Kind of a thing. I'm not saying that I don't necessarily think that. Not that you're a bad person, but, like, why aren't you doing it? Like, why aren't you becoming a vegetarian or vegan? But, like I said, it's your own personal decision. And I'm not saying I'm perfect in this, because sometimes I do judge people, sometimes without even necessarily realizing that that's what I'm doing, but I try not to be judgmental or like be like, well, you disagree with me about this, that, and the other, or you do this, that, and the other, and I don't approve of that, so I'm going to either lecture you about why your choices are wrong or cut you out of my life. Like, that's not how I function. So, yeah. Sorry for rambling so much. Yeah. This is 13.5 minutes, so I'm gonna cut it off now and probably just make like another video and call it quits for the day, because my voice is going in and out, and I need to figure out what exactly I can do to make my sunburn not hurt as much. Alright, take care and stay strong, everyone.